Lady's incredible journey, from the unforgiving cold to redemption. We received an urgent call reporting a desperate case, an abandoned dog, exposed to the intense cold and relentless blizzards, struggling to survive. Reports indicated that she had been lying on the sidewalk for several days, without any shelter, food, or protection. The cruel fate that had been imposed on her was clear. Someone had discarded her as if she were a worthless object, leaving her to die slowly in the freezing temperatures. Time was our greatest enemy. With temperatures below zero and a heavy snowstorm punishing the city, every minute that passed drastically reduced her chances of survival. If we did not act immediately, that night could be her last. A race against time. Given the urgency of the situation, we mobilized our team and set off for the location, aware that every second could mean the difference between life and death. When we arrived, the scene was desolate. There, in the middle of the frozen sidewalk, lay the dog, motionless, her body stiff from the intense cold, her eyes dull from exhaustion and pain. She had no strength to move, her body was shaking violently, and her gaze showed a mixture of fear and resignation. There was no doubt that if she spent a few more hours in that condition, her life would quietly extinguish beneath the relentless snow. We knew we could not waste time. With all the delicacy, we wrapped her fragile body in a thermal blanket and placed her inside the vehicle. For the first time in days, she could feel the comforting warmth of a protected environment. On the way to the vet, a worrying diagnosis. Our priority was to take her to the vet immediately for a full evaluation. During the drive, we decided to name her Lady, a name that symbolized the dignity and respect she deserved, but which had been cruelly denied her. When we arrived at the clinic, the tests revealed a worrying picture. Despite her extreme thinness, we found that Lady was not pregnant, contrary to what we had initially imagined. However, her general condition was alarming. Severe infection in the uterus, which could worsen rapidly if left untreated. Poor nutrition, with evidence that she had ingested discarded bones in an attempt to survive, which could cause internal injuries. High fever, indicating an advanced infectious process that required constant monitoring and intensive care. Her body was weakened, and the fight for survival had pushed her to the limit. She needed immediate hospitalization, with antibiotics, hydration, and nutritional support to try to reverse her critical condition. The first days of treatment. Lady remained under observation during the first few days, receiving intensive treatment and continuous monitoring. The veterinary team did everything in their power to stabilize her condition and minimize her suffering. What struck us most was that, despite all the pain she had endured, Lady still displayed a sweet and affectionate personality. As she began to regain her strength, she constantly sought affection, lying on her caretaker's laps and seeking human closeness. Her gaze, previously marked by fear and hopelessness, began to reveal a subtle glow of confidence. A remarkable recovery. As the days passed, Lady began to show clear signs of improvement. Her fever subsided, her appetite returned, and her previously skeletal body began to gradually gain weight. With the right support, her transformation was evident. 2 weeks later, the change was remarkable. The frail, dying dog we had rescued from the snow was now full of energy. Her coat began to regain its shine, her eyes showed vitality, and her behavior revealed a new personality, cheerful, playful, and full of confidence. Once terrified of human contact, Lady now showed enthusiasm whenever she saw someone approaching her. She was no longer a victim of abandonment, but rather a living example of overcoming and hope. A new life, a new beginning. Today, Lady is a completely different dog. The suffering that marked her past has been replaced by love, security, and comfort. Her recovery was extraordinary, and she has become a symbol of what compassion and care can provide to an animal in extreme situations. Now, Lady enjoys a loving environment, lives with other dogs, and receives all the love she always deserved. Her story reminds us that every abandoned animal has the potential for a new life, as long as they are given the chance to start over. This journey of resilience was only possible thanks to the support of everyone who believes in our mission. With every donation, share, and gesture of empathy, more lives like Lady can be saved. We are immensely grateful to everyone who stood by us during this process. Together, we changed a destiny and restored a life.